Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to do a fun little project using these little shells, well, some of them anyway, from my Found Objects challenge bag from Thunderhorse Descendant. What we're going to do is decorate the top of this little box. So we'll just take the top off. We don't need the rest of it, unless I decide to decorate it too, but probably won't. So we'll put that aside. We'll put the top down here, and we're going to make an ocean scene. So let's turn down and we'll do that. Okay, so what we have here is the top of the box, because this is what we're going to decorate. Some ocean green, which is actually sort of a blue color, of alcohol ink, paintbrush, alcohol. This is for cleaning our paintbrush, or if we spill it anywhere. Some ocean sand. Had this for a while in a little bottle. Decided we could use it for this. And then some shells. And of course our resin. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to paint this top with some of the alcohol ink, but we're not going to paint the whole thing. We could, because we're going to cover it up with other stuff, but I'm mainly going to paint right like here, so we can put our shells and our sand over here in this corner. So let's do that, shall we? So to do that, we're just going to put a drop or two of the alcohol ink onto the top of the lid here. And then we'll take our paintbrush and we'll spread it around some. Well, we may need some more than that because it doesn't seem to be spreading everywhere. And that's all right. Of course, it doesn't help that the green is keeping us from really seeing how much of the ink is on there. But we will put some more on. I always close this back up. It dries quite quickly, and besides that, I don't want it to spill. Now, if you want, you can use wear medical style gloves when you're doing this, so you don't have to worry about getting it on your hands at all. I don't really worry about that too much. If you get alcohol on them, just get some rubbing alcohol, take some rubbing alcohol, and you can get it off relatively easily. I could use a little bit more, but it's actually looking pretty good. We'll put a couple more drops on, and then we will spread those out some, and then we'll call it good. Let's see how that looks now. So now I'm going to shut off for a few minutes while this dries. We'll put our I'll go clean my paintbrush, and then we'll put our alcohol ink away, and we'll be done with this portion. Now that this is relatively well dry, which it has a hair in it, but oh well, we're then going to put some resin into it, into the tray of this all around. I should have brought a toothpick over so I could direct it to where I wanted it later, but I'll get that in a moment. Now, the instructions for resin say that you should put one thin layer down and then, but I'm not going to do that because this is a small box and we don't want to put the resin down and then not have a way to put more on. So I'll be back in just a second as soon as I get some toothpicks so we can move that around so it's more of an even layer. Okay, we've got some toothpicks and we have an air bubble here, so we want to get that out. Oop. And now we just want to spread our resin around so that it's a nice even layer for our sand in our shells. I use these boxes for all number of things, but mainly I use them for just putting my jewelry in. They make a cute little jewelry box. Okay, now that we've got this resin pretty well spread out here, the next thing we want to do is put in the sand. So we're just going to take the sand and just carefully spread it in the resin. Take our toothpick and spread it out some more. Got a conch in there. Don't want that. I think we need a little more sand. Now we're going to get some shells out and put the shells along the beach line here. Which shells do we want to put up here? Maybe one or two maybe down over here. Got a lot of shells on our beach. Put some in the water even too. Some. I think that's plenty of shells on our beach. So we'll put our shells back away. And we'll put a little bit more resin over the top to stabilize that some. And I think we're going to be done with our little box, other than doing our heating so that it doesn't, so that it dries up. And we don't want to give it so much resin that it goes over the sides, but we do want to put some in around the shells so they stay in pretty good. That should do it. Now we'll take a new toothpick and make sure we're all still up here where we belong. And that these spots are all taken care of over here. Air bubble there. Want that out. There we go. There's another one and another one. Right, they're out now. And now we just put the light on it and heat it up so that it will dry. And that takes quite a few minutes. So we will come back after a bit. Now that it's almost dry and I'm looking it over, I'm seeing we have a couple of little tiny touch-up spots. This little shell does not have much resin around it, nor does this one. So I'm going to add a little, and then I'll take a toothpick and bring it down into place a little better. Okay. Okay, I think that looks a little better. So now we'll heat it back up some more. Now, if your resin doesn't dry really quickly, and a lot of times it doesn't, you can put it out in the sunlight. It actually dries up and becomes less tacky in the sun than it does with your little UV light, which surprised me the first time I discovered that, but that is the case. So because this is bigger than our UV light, I'm switching it back and forth as it dries so that it dries everywhere sort of evenly, hopefully. After this dries enough that you feel that you can handle it well, you can start cleaning things up here. Remember that if you used sand, it is an abrasive, and you will need to shake your mat outside and rub it off good so that when you start working with your beads again, it doesn't scrape anything if you use beads with your silicone mat. So here is my little box. Now, if you wanted to decorate it a bit more, you could put some ribbon or cloth, glue it around the outside of your box here. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. Probably not. I don't mind the sides being clear, because then I can always see what I've got in them. But isn't that cute? Little decorated top of our box there with our sand and our shells and our ocean water. Now mine is still a bit tacky, and that happens frequently, even however long you put the UV light on it. So I'm going to go sit it out in the sun for a while, because we are having a sunny day. So while we're still having a sunny day, mine's going to go out on the patio and catch a few rays. Now I had quite a few shells in my found objects bag, so this only used a portion of them up. But see, there's our little box with our sand and our shells and our ocean green, or ocean, it's a greeny blue, sort of teal, isn't it? Anyway, like I say, mine's going to go out on the patio for a little while and catch a few rays to get the last of that stickiness out of the resin. And I think that turned out really cute. Not sure whether I'm going to keep this for myself or I'm going to give it as a gift. You never can tell. And incidentally, if you really like these little boxes, I got this square one at Michael's. They also have round ones and hearts. In fact, I think I have one right behind me. Let me check. I do. I have one of each shape. Here's the round and here's the heart. And then of course we used the square on our box here. So that is where you can get those, Michael's, if you want one. I got the alcohol ink at Hobby Lobby. I believe I got the resin at Michael's also. Comes in a big bottle or a small bottle, depending on whether you want to pay the amount that the big bottle is. It's craft resin or UV resin craft, I guess it is. And that's a nice little bottle of that. The sand I got at the ocean. But I suppose you can get sand anywhere you can find sand at. I do know that Lowe's at least sells playground sand. Of course, they come in big bags. And if you don't need that big of a bag, just a little handful. So if you're ever at want to make something like this, and you're ever at a lake or a river, any place that has sand, just grab up a handful. You only need like maybe a teaspoon, if even that much, to make this one anyway. So anyway, there again is our little box using the Found Objects challenge from Thunderhorse Descendant. The shells anyway. Hope you had fun with me making this. I thought it was fun. And it's going to go out on the patio now and catch its rays. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.